funny.
It's true.
Well, I think that I want to know that money is not a person, right? Money is not someone to comfort me. Money is not something to comfort me. It doesn't provide me with an emotion other than what I conjure up for myself. And oftentimes those emotions are negative. You know, a lot of fear, a lot of greed, a lot of anxiety. That's what money does for a lot of people. And so those aren't positive things. What I think that we should begin to do is see money as an inanimate object instead of as a person. So what I mean by that is that when we think about money, we think about our assets, we think about our insurance plans, we think about our homes. What we're really doing is that we're looking at tools that we have used or are using or will use to build a future. That's what we're doing. So I think that's the way we should look at it. When we look at it, an asset and liability sheet, we should look at it as though we're going to Lowe's and we're seeing all these tools hanging on the wall, and we're wondering what are we going to do with these tools because we've acquired them. It's like we went to Lowe's and we got them and we put them in our shed. Now what are we going to build with them? If we're looking at these assets to comfort us, it's not really going to work. For instance, people could say, well, I don't like the market, so I went to the banks and the banks make me feel better. Yeah, they make you feel better until you realize that some things happen there too. We've had a banking crisis in the late 80s. We had a banking crisis in 2007-8. We've had banks really misbehave over the last 5 years. So it's not a perfect scenario. It's not where a safety place, a safe place to be.
There's always a risk.
There's always a risk, and then it's just a different type of risk, right? And then the other side of that, well, the investment market, we've had, a tremendous run since 2009, just a tremendous run. And everyone all of a sudden is scared of the market like it's an evil that you have to run away from. It's just part of the game. It's just part of how it works. Things go up, things go down. It's financial gravity. What goes up must come down. What goes down will go back up. And that's just the way it works. If that doesn't work that way, if the market stops working that way, we're not talking about, by the way, when we talk about the market, we're not talking about something ethereal. We're talking about real companies. We're talking about real companies with real employees who make real products and provide real services. And if all of a sudden all these companies lose their value, in other words, they can't pay their employees because no one wants their services, no one wants their products, well then we have a
pandemic.
Yeah, in the middle of a pandemic that lasts and lasts and lasts, well, then we have more problems than our 401k. So the problem that we have going on with us is that anything that's happening right now, we tend to think it's going to happen forever. If it's really good, it's always going to be really good, and if it's really bad, it's always going to be really bad. We just can't see enough of the future to make ourselves act in a way that's fiduciary for ourselves, to have our own best interests at heart. So I'm suggesting that we put our faith and confidence not in the assets, but in the purpose, the mission of what we see our lives to be all about. Knowing that if we make decisions that fulfill that mission and purpose, whether we're early in our career and we're trying to build one, whether we're in mid-career and we're just trying to maintain one, or trying to what's the word I'm looking for? Capitalize on one, or if we're coming to the end of a career and we are going to transition out of one. The purpose and the mission is what it's all about, because that's where we say, well, we made these decisions because this is how we believe we should live our life. And regardless of what the external variables have done, no matter how they've changed, we have made decisions that made us true to ourselves, and that should be the comfort. That should be the peace of mind that we're looking for. Let's not look for it in an object. Let's look for it within the fact that we're making decisions that reflect who we are and what we believe, and that's the best way to live a life. That should give you really any comfort that you need when times are tough.